And here we go. Giants fans, you're in luck because the Baltimore Ravens just fired John Harbaugh, and I believe he is going to be number one on the Giants head coach candidate list. We're going to dive into all that coming up on today's show. I'm fired up because this is who I have wanted all offseason long. If you want the same, if you want John Harbaugh to be the next head coach of the New York Football Giants, hit that thumbs up icon right now. You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and hopefully just like you, I am hoping that John Harbaugh is the next head coach of this team. In breaking news, in somewhat surprising fashion, we thought that there was a chance that the Ravens and John Harbaugh would part ways, and they have. But it wasn't an agreement to part ways. They have fired him, which means he is a free agent essentially, and he can sign with whatever team he wants, and he can interview with teams right now. There were thoughts out there that if the Ravens and John Harbaugh were to part ways, it would be an agreement. And then the Ravens could look to trade Harbaugh to a team like the Giants to get a pick back. But he's free, and all it's going to take is for the New York Giants to convince him they are the best spot for him. A lot to talk about on today's show, but this is why you subscribe to the channel. When there's news to talk about, we get you a video ASAP. I talked about how I think John Harbaugh is the best fit for the Giants. I also think that he is number one on their list. Connor Hughes of SNY, who covers the Giants, tweeting out, I'm told the Giants have done a ton of preliminary research on John Harbaugh, preparing for the situation in which he were to become available. They will want to bring him in for an interview, I'm told. Thank freaking God. There is so much that needs to happen before any hire is possible. But considering what they're looking for, leader of men, culture builder, track record of winning in big moments, not sure he's someone you want to let out of your building once he's inside it. I think he's number one on the Giants list. He has to be number one on the Giants list. Over the last month or two, since Dable has been fired, what have we heard? We want a culture leader. We want a culture setter. We want a leader of men. We want a proven candidate. That is what John Harbaugh is. In 18 seasons with the Baltimore Ravens, only 3 of those seasons the Ravens finished under 500. In 2 of those 3 seasons, they finished with 8 wins, a 180-113 record, 13-11 in the postseason, Super Bowl 47 winning head coach, 6 AFC North titles, and he got to the AFC Championship game 4 times. This is a no-brainer for the New York Giants. This is a gift, an absolute gift. Do not mess this up. Figure out a way to make it happen. You have to make it happen. He's the best available coach in what, to be honest with you, is a pretty crappy head coach candidate cycle this offseason. Leader, culture, winner, and he brings respect to your organization. The day that he becomes the head coach of your football team, the New York Giants are back as a blue blood organization. They are back as once again a top tier organization in the National Football League. Let's not get it mistaken. There is going to be a lot of competition here. I expect all 6 or 7 teams, 6, 7, that have head coach openings to go and try to pursue John Harbaugh. He may be a top 15 football coach walking planet Earth right now, and he's a free agent. And the New York Giants have been wishing, hoping, and praying that a coach like him would become available. Ian O'Connor, longtime New York sports columnist, tweeting out, John Harbaugh has a high regard for the Giants job and Jackson Dart. John Harbaugh has a high regard for the New York Giants job and Jackson Dart. of the 6 head coach openings, I believe he might have the New York Giants at number 1 or damn close to it. As I wrote yesterday, I believe he hurdles Kevin Stefanski as the leader in the clubhouse. That is what Ian O'Connor of The Athletic is reporting. Please, I don't ask for much. Please, John Harbaugh, this is the best spot for you. You get to walk into a place where you're wanted, and people are going to look at you like the savior because you've earned that. Giants fans, Giants players, Giants front office members, and Giants ownership have been looking for a coach like this since Tom Coughlin. He's right there. Go get it done. Send him an offer that he cannot refuse. I don't think it's all going to be about money. I honestly think that's probably the last thing it's going to be about is money for John Harbaugh. But this is why you sold 10% to the Koch family. Give him a blank check. I don't care how many years. I don't care how much money. Get it done. It's not a salary cap on what you can spend on coaches. Give him an offer that he cannot refuse. Because you cannot afford to not hire this man as your head coach right now. He looks like a Giant. Look at the man. He looks damn good in that hat. He looks damn good in that New York Giants blue. This is the guy that we have hoped and prayed would be the head coach of the New York Giants. Joe Schoen, get the job done. John Mara, Steve Tisch, Chris Mara, Tim McDonald, whoever's making the freaking calls right now in the front office, stop, drop, roll, and get the job done. Find a way to make this happen. Wow. I mean, I didn't think that I thought there was a chance that they would be stupid enough to fire John Harbaugh. And they did. And they did. I cannot believe these words were written by one of the most credible people in New York reporting. John Harbaugh has a high regard for the Giants' job and for Jackson Dart. It's one of the best days of my life. It really is. If they can find a way to make him this team's head coach, and I'll say the quiet part out loud, this may be 2 birds, 1 stone. You hire John Harbaugh, or John Harbaugh says he wants to be the coach. John Harbaugh wants to work with Jackson Dart, but he doesn't want to work with Joe Schoen. And he, John Harbaugh, is the type of head coach that can make that happen. He has the power. He has the cachet. He has the resume. He's got the juice to convince ownership that I am way more important to your organization than Joe Schoen. And I am willing to come coach the New York Football Giants. But I'm going to bring my own general manager in. And I'm going to turn around this dumpster fire that you guys have been pouring gasoline on since 2017. 13-38 in the last 3 years. John Harbaugh can walk into that owner's office and say, I'm coming, but I ain't coming if it's Joe Schoen. And I believe the Giants are smart enough to do what it would take, which would mean boot Joe Schoen out of office. There's a legit shot here, ladies and gentlemen, that we could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Get the best head coach in the offseason that's a part of this cycle and get rid of Joe Schoen. I am shaking right now with excitement. He has to be number 1 on the New York Giants list. We're reacting to this in live time. The Baltimore Ravens just released a statement. There are reports out there that they fired him because of his unwillingness to move on from Todd Monken. Bring Todd to the Giants. We'll take John. We'll take Todd. Whoever John wants, John gets. Number 5 overall pick. a franchise quarterback, a blue blood organization, an elite pass rush, Malik Neighbors, Cam Scadaboo, best left tackle in the National Football League. Find a way. Find a way. Find a way. If you want John Harbaugh to be the next head coach of the New York Giants, subscribe to the channel right now. Do it. If we get any more updates on this, we'll get you guys that video ASAP. Man, oh man. It feels like there's actually a shot at this. Unreal. Unreal. We'll close out today's show talking to my guy, Andrew Connell, producer of this show. Shout out to him. First, though, I do got to tell you guys that we have an awesome deal going on right now. If you want some Giants swag at almost 50% off, go to chatsports.com/NYGiantshirt. It's chatsports.com/NYGiantshirt. Was $45, now it's $24.99. Take advantage of the deal. Andrew Connell, I don't really know what I'm feeling right now. It feels euphoric. It feels fake. Job's not done. They have to find a way to get this done.
This is just step one. It doesn't feel real that the opportunity is even here. If we just look back at yesterday, how we were feeling when Joe Schoen was staying, and then kind of even as the list of head coach candidates and interviews the Giants are setting up have begun to roll in, none of them have the juice that a guy like John Harbaugh does. None of them get us excited and feeling the way that adding a coach like John Harbaugh could. You look at how hard it is to coach in the NFL, how often guys get hired who look good, like good coaches get fired. This is a guy who was a head coach and one of the top head coaches in the league for 18 seasons. The Baltimore Ravens have been one of the best organizations and a model of consistency in the NFL. The Giants would pray for the Ravens' worst seasons over the last 10 years. This could be, like you said, the break that the Giants needed in order to stabilize their franchise, elevate the existing team that they already have, bring some credibility back, and get the most out of the guys that are already there and the guys that are going to add to this team. What have been the Giants' biggest issues this season? It's been a lack of consistency, a lack of execution, a lack of late-game execution, along with the talent issue. But you get a John Harbaugh coach football team, you're going to do all the little things right.
You have an advantage every week.
You're going to play hard. You're going to do all the little things right. You're never going to be outcoached. You're never going to be outworked. And those have been major issues for the Giants. And like you said, yeah, you'll have an advantage every single week.
When is the last time we walked into game days with the arrow pointing our way in coaching advantage?
Tom Coughlin.
I can't believe it. I can. We've talked about it on this channel for about a month now. Tomlin and Harbaugh have been my 1 and 2. I don't want to hear from the Giants fans, but Marshall, he can't close games. But Marshall, he only won because of Lamar. But Marshall, he hasn't done anything since he won a Super Bowl.
Won before Lamar.
Exactly. Like, come on.
And
every coach has flaws. Every single coach has flaws.
Do the Giants close games now? How many games do you think the Giants win this season if John Harbaugh was coaching their team?
A lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more. This reminds me of the Andy Reid situation where he had Philadelphia like a well-oiled machine, and they won and they won and they won some more. Unfortunately for us, they never won the big one, but they were paying rent at the NFC Championship.
Absolutely.
Every year. What was it, 6 years that they got there or whatever it was?
McNabb, they had a great run.
He had to leave because it was time. 18 years.
Things run their course. I mean, I don't know. The Ravens feel
Come
like they
be our
need a
Andy
new
Reid.
voice. Yeah, exactly.
We got a guy that's a little Mahomey as well.
Oh, chills.
Come on.
I get chills when you say that.
Make sure you are following me on social media. If we get any more updates on this search, John Harbaugh, anything New York Giants, we got you a video ASAP. Get the job done.